everyone, happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. I am Cassie with Created by Cassie, and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me tonight. We're going to have such a fun time. I have some cute projects. But first, if this is your first time catching me live or watching me on the replay, go ahead and put this emoji down in the comments so that I can welcome you to my channel. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you're notified whenever I go live or post a video. Also, I love to send out cards, so if you are interested in signing up for my card mailing list, you can look for the little rainbow emoji in my description, and you can sign up for my email list as well as my card mailing list and my birthday card mailing list. And to help you guys out finding any information in the description you need, I have little emojis up here. If there's a video one, there's not a video one yet of this one. It would be the potted plant. The email and card sign up list is that rainbow. If you are local to the Charlotte, North Carolina area or Indian Trail, Monroe, I do monthly in-person classes every second Thursday of the month. Look for that little apple, and that has the link there that you can go and sign up for that. I would love to have you join me in person. There's also a YouTube playlist that I have with all my videos. So the little camera emoji, and then the supply list is the little pencil. That is any of the current supplies that I am using for tonight, as well as any measurements for cards that are not the standard card base for me. And then if you would love to shop with me, which I would love for you to, the little shopping bags little emoji is there for you guys to find my store there. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're doing great. Tonight we're going to be working with the Life in Bloom bundle, and it is such a pretty bundle. It's very simple, but it really can pack a really good punch. So I'm going to point you down here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look. This is our bundle for tonight. It's called Life in Bloom, and the sentiments are enjoying the simple things in life, a glimpse of us, days well spent, and then love my family. I think that this is more for, I think that it was designed more for doing scrapbooking, but I made it work for cards as well. And so the die set here, I actually have my die set here on my, let's see, on my magnet here. It's always easier to show you guys. So for the stamps here, we can stamp this one, both arrows. There's two different arrows in a stamp. This one's got like little dots. And then we've got the little flowers. We can stamp and cut the two arrows as well as the plant here, and that will cut those out. And then we have a lot of these detailed type dies. This really pretty die here that does the little pot for the plant. We've got a cute little bow, some cute little flowers here, and then little leaves. And then we have this really fun die right here that I used, and I think you're going to love how I used it. And then we've got two big sentiment dies here, and you guys are not going to be surprised at all. I made a tag or a bookmark with this. You guys are not going to be surprised by that at all. And then we have this one here that we can do die cutting as well. Oh, and we also have this cute little sign here. None of the sentiments will fit in this, but if you get paper pumpkins or our kits, some of those are small enough that those can fit in here. All right, let's go ahead and we will get into it here. Just grabbing a drink of water really quick. All right, so our first card for tonight is this card right here. Nice and simple, super cute. And the paper that I used for tonight is absolutely gorgeous. It's the Bloom Boutique paper. I've used almost all of it. It's so pretty. I love it. So pretty much all of our projects tonight have this Bloom Boutique paper. But look at how pretty this is. So for this, we are actually going to use Golden Glow. And if I know my team at least is going to be like, Cassie, you don't like Golden Glow. That was the one that you said you did not like at all. And that is true. I don't know where my bone folder went, is what I'm looking for here. And we're just going to have to, wonder what I did with it. I had it. This is why I always try to keep my stuff in the same spot. But it's okay. We're going to use this instead. I wonder what I did with it. But back to what I was saying. I did not like Golden Glow when I first got it. I was like, that's like wild weed to me. But it works really well with this DSP right here. So we have our standard card base. Then we're going to have a piece of that DSP. It does have gold foil on it. So pretty. One side has gold foil and one side doesn't. So we have that right there. And then we're going to have our sentiment strip here, which is the smaller of the two dies in here. So it's going to be this inside, whoops, this die right here. That is this here, and this is just basic white. And I've already cut out our pieces. So we have, let's see, this piece here is from our detailed die, which is this one here. And then we have our really pretty, isn't that so pretty? Look at that texture on there. That's from our little pot die right here. Super, super cute. And then all of our flowers are from this little flower die right here. Super, super cute. I did use our, this is the, which one is this that I did? I wonder what I did with my stamp set. I have it right here. This one here, Fabulous Sayings. And I'm not finding, where did I, and here I was thinking I was super, super ready and organized for tonight. And here it is. I put it in the wrong bin. This one here. So that's the Fabulous Things. That was one of our online product of the month. And we are, I don't know what I did with this one here. So we're going to use this here. I have it around here somewhere because it's not on my, is it on here and I just can't see it? It's not. Big thanks. It's on a block somewhere. It's all good. We're going to use To a Fabulous Friend instead. I think that'll fit. Should fit. All right, so we are going to go ahead and glue down our DSP. And I have my glue here. I'm really wondering what I did with my bone folder. I don't usually lose it. I put it somewhere. So we're just going to glue this down, which is actually odd for me because I usually almost always pop everything up on my cards. But I thought it looked so pretty just flat on the card. Like that. Hi, Sheila. How are you? Hope you're having a great Monday. All right, so we have that right there. Then we've got our little sentiment strip here. So we're going to stick this here. And then I'm just going to use my little pot here to kind of let me kind of gauge where I want my sentiment to go. And we're going to use our Peaceful Pine ink here. Peaceful Pine, I think, is my new favorite in color. And it might be my favorite color of all of our colors. I keep using it. I just have to get used to this new style of pad because it doesn't ink up as well for me. I don't know if it's my pressure or what it is, but doesn't ink up as well as I'm used to. All right, so we have our sentiment strip here, and stick this here. And we have our cute little pot here, and then we have our die cut little plant topper, and we are going to just put a little bit of glue right on that little edge right there, and I'm just going to glue that right to the back of my pot here, like that. Super simple, right? Then I'm going to flip this over, and we are going to grab our dimensionals, and I'm going to stick these down here, and then I'm going to grab my smaller dimensionals to put a couple up here at the top. And these small dimensionals are able to fit over these little flowers here. And you know what? I think I didn't need, let's see, this bottom one I think is the one. Oh, you know what I did? I snipped that off is what I did to make it easier on myself. Gotcha. All right. So I'm going to put one more to make sure it doesn't sink in here. So I'm going to take these off, and then we are going to set this down. Let's see if I can get these off here. And we got these here. All right, so I'm just going to kind of gauge where this is going to sit. And then we're just going to set this down. Hold it a little bit closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm just going to pull this out. Well, I think this is about where it was, right? Nope, over a little bit. There we go. Come here. All right, that's better. I am going to trim just a little bit of this off. It's going to sit right under there. And I'm just going to trim just a little bit each time until I get it where I want it, kind of like that. Then we are going to grab our dimensionals and put those on the back here. And then we're going to tuck this under. Here we go. You got to be straight though. There we go. Yep, like that. And then to get our little flowers here up on top, I've cut them out. I did Golden Glow and Basic White for the colors here. And I'm just going to take my mini dimensionals and I'm just going to stick them on the back of each one. And then we are going to put those on top of our flowers that we have on our little plant topper here. You see these little flowers? We're just going to pop those right on top. Oh, running behind, that's okay. Oh, no worries. You can definitely catch the replay. Last week was so good. I loved my projects from last week. I think you'll love them too. But good to see you, Marrier. All right, so we're just going to go around and put these on these little flowers that are already here. You can glue them down as well if you don't want them popped up, but I thought they were so cute popped up. And I just kind of alternated, let's see, alternated my colors. I think it goes this way. Doesn't really matter too much which way it goes, but it does have this one right there that's a little bit longer. And I try to match that up so that you don't see that green underneath it. Put that one there, and then we're going to put that one there. I think that one's not upside down yet. We're going to take these off. Whoops. It stuck to me. So we'll put this one here. And you could die cut this out in basic white and color it with your blends if you wanted. And then you could color the leaf part green, and then the flowers, whatever color it is that you wanted to color. I just always have a problem with these. There we go. Smaller dimensionals here. All right, so we're going to go this way here. And then we have this one right here. There we go. All right. Isn't that cute? Then we are going to take our new in color ribbon. This is the hydrangea hue. And I'm going to grab a little bit of it and make a bow. There we go. And I'm just going to make it kind of small so that it kind of fits right there perfectly on our little pot. I love this new in color ribbon. It ties wonderfully. Okay, so we're going to snip that. And then I'm just going to make my tails. Let me make my loops a little bit smaller. And then we'll just snip this down. Oops. There we go. And then we're going to grab our glue dots. And I like using these glue dots for putting my ribbon on, because I think they hold a little bit better than the kit glue dots that I like. So I still use my kit glue dots all the time, but I have found for putting a bow on, isn't that cute? My regular glue dots work a little bit better. Then we're going to take our iridescent pearl basic jewels, and we're going to take the smaller, oops, I missed, got one, fell off here. We're going to take these smaller ones and we're just going to stick them here on the center of these flowers. You can, when they cut out, when you die cut them, the little center pops out of them. You can keep that center and just put it back in if you want. But the way that I did it, you see that little dimensional underneath. And I ran out of my little ones, so let's grab the back here. So I wanted to cover that up with something. So come here. There we go. So we are covering it up with these gorgeous iridescent pearls, which I love. I'm so happy they haven't retired, because I love them. And we're just going to put one of these on each of our flowers here. And then, let's see if I can get this. There we go. Just going to push those down, make sure they're going to stay, which they should, because they're on top of that dimensional as well. And then we're going to take our new in color butterflies, these here, and I'm going to take the hydrangea hue, And I'm just going to put 3 of those around on the DSP. So we're going to do 1 large and then 2 of these smaller. Let's stick him on here. There we go. That's our first card. How cute is that? I love it. And it's so simple. Not too much to have to do, you know, to pack a punch there. Just super, super pretty. Change up your sentiment into anything. And yeah, super, super cute. All right. Our next project is kind of a 2-part project. So I have the card here. So this is the card we're going to make, and then it has a coordinating envelope here that it will fit in, just like that. And it is a little bit, it's a 1/4 of an inch wide here. So you can stick other things in here as well. And the front of that, look how pretty that is. Super, super cute. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Marrier. So we are going to start with our little card here. And for that, we have a piece of cantaloupe, crisp cantaloupe. I'll get the names one of these days. And I still don't know where my bone folder is. I hadn't found it. Is it in? I'll find it after the live. Hopefully Dublin didn't get it. I didn't drop it. So we have a crisp cantaloupe here. And then we have Barely Blush, which you can't quite tell. This is white, so that you can kind of see that it is the blush there. Kind of looks white on camera, but it's Barely Blush. And then we have our DSP piece. And this one here, it has like a pink tint to it. You can kind of see the difference. I didn't have enough to do the pink again. So we're going to do this one, because I only had 1 pack of this paper, and I had a lot of fun with this paper. So let's see, this one is this pack here. All right, so for this, we are going to take our DSP, we're going to glue it down to our Barely Blush. And then we're going to take our Barely Blush and pop that up on our crisp cantaloupe. Let's get this straight here. Here we go. All right. So we're going to pop these up with our dimensionals. Does anybody have this bundle? I almost didn't get it, but I thought it would be so much fun to play around with that, coloring this in. As you guys know, I love to color. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it, and I can just play around with it and see what happens. And with this DSP, it works perfectly. All right, there we go. And then we have, I've already gone ahead and cut these out. I will show you how to color these in another one that I have. But this is what we have here. This is actually cloud cover. And then we have, oh shoot, Peaceful Pine. And then this is the crisp cantaloupe. And we have crisp cantaloupe here. This is our little bow that is die cut out of the Life in Bloom set there. And this is, actually I did a little trick with this. So I die cut out using this right here. And you notice it's longer than this one. Basically what I did was I took the edge of a piece, I kind of said, okay, I think I want it this long, I went ahead and cut it out with however long I wanted, and then I just lined up this edge with the edge of the paper and ran it back through, and it cut it down to a smaller size there. Oh, you don't, Sheila? Yeah, it's really pretty. I was playing with it the other night, and I was sending a photo of it to my upline, and she was like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. All right, so we're going to do To a Fabulous Friend, which we just did. So let me get this clean here. But she actually asked me to do a demo at her next retreat that she has with this, using this paper and bundle, because she liked it so much. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up to right before we get to Friend, because I'm going to do this on 2 separate lines here. So I'm just going to ink this up right to that S on Fabulous. Got a little bit on that F there. And I'm going to stick this down. There we go. And then I'm going to wipe that off really, really well. And then I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to just ink up Friend. And then I'm just going to check to make sure. And then we're just going to stick Friend right there in the center. Just like that. So now we have it fit our little sentiment strip here. Does it open that way? Yep, it opens that way. So we are going to take our dimensionals here, pop this up, and I'm going to grab my little vase here. Whoops. I'm going to kind of put it where I kind of am going to want it. And we're just going to stick this right down. Then we can take our dimensionals and pop this up as well. Oops. We'll get these here. And then this is just going to lay a little bit, and I should have put this up higher. This is just going to lay just a touch over our sentiment here. Just like that. And then we have our little bow, and I just kind of set it down to kind of see where I need those dimensionals. And I'm going to take my mini dimensionals, and then I'm going to put one in the middle and one on each side there. And then I'm going to cut one and stick it right on that tail. I think it needs to go, yep, a little bit higher on it. Right here. And then one over here. Yep, this one needs to come off. Come on. There we go. Got this one off, and I need this one off. Come on. There we go. All right, so we are just going to stick this right here. Isn't that pretty? And then we are going to embellish with 2 different embellishments. So we're going to use the butterflies and the, these are the pearl These are not the pearlized. These are the Pearls of Beauty. And we're going to use the white sparkly ones. Here we go. So I'm going to take the large one here. I actually could go with a color because the paper's white, but we're going to go with white just to give it that little bit of sparkle. And then we're going to grab our butterflies, which I had. I think they're over here. And I did the crisp cantaloupe on this one. Well, you're going to be able to see the crisp cantaloupe a lot better than on this one here. This has like the blush background color, where this one is just the regular white color. And I think I just did, yep, I just did 2 butterflies here. Just like that. That's our card. Isn't that pretty? And then our coordinating envelope is this here. And for that, we have a piece of DSP. So I do have the measurements down in the description, but I also wrote it down so I could tell you guys what they are. So it's 6.5 by 9 1/4 is your DSP cut. Your short side up is going to be 1/4, and then 6 1/4, and then the long is 4.5 and 4 3/4. And I think I did not. Yep, I did not score, so we can score together. And yep, I do need it open here. All right, so we're going to do our short side up. Am I in frame here? Let's see. There we go. So we've got our short side. We have our long side here, our short side. So we're going to do our short side facing up. And I am going to do, what did I say, 1/4. So we're going to line this up at 1/4. And then I'm just going to gently run that over. And I just like to make sure that I get a nice crease on that. With your DSP, you want to be careful when you score here. And then I'm just going to flip this around, and I'm going to go to 6 1/4, which is right here. Or you can just take your edge and go to 1/4 on this side. And then we're just going to do that again. Yep. And then we're going to do our long side up. We're going to do 4 1/2. So we're going to line that up at 4 1/2. Score that. And then 4 3/4. And this is just a 1/4 of an inch. Here we go. Yep, that looks good. All right. Now we can fold. And I actually created this for a card that I was making. I am selling my mother's house, and I was making the new owners, or the buyers, a little card, and I wanted to put a note in there, like an actual, I typed up a note so it was more legible than my handwriting, and I needed it a little bit thicker than just my standard, you know, like envelope that I do. Here we go, just where I just kind of glue it together, and it's kind of like just like a little pocket. So I came up with this. All right, so we have everything burnished here for the most part. And what we're going to do is our center here, we're just going to snip just this little tab right here. we're just going to snip up to that other score line. So it's only going to be 1/4 of an inch that we're cutting up. So it's going to be like that. We just have just this piece here, and that's on both sides. And if your paper is directional, which I don't think this one is, your directional, you'll want to put it towards you. And what we're going to do is we are going to take our middle tab here, and we are going to put just a little bit of glue. I like to kind of move it around. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to hold flat on this center piece here, and then I'm just going to push the tab onto the side here, making sure that it's nice and flush to the table there, so we get a nice crisp line. I'm just going to hold that for a second. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to put a little bit of glue. Did I get the glue or get... There we go. I'm almost out of my glue here. Oh shoot, I undid that one. Get back on there. Alright, we are going to... Oh shoot, I did that on the wrong side, didn't I? Oh well. Alright. So we have our 2 little tabs there. Then I'm going to fold these guys out here. I am going to put glue on that little 1/4 of an inch here. And I just like my green glue, but you can use whatever glue floats your boat. And then I'm just going to pick this up, and then we're just going to close this right here, and we're just going to try to make sure that it's nice and flush. And if I knew where my bone folder was, we would put my bone folder in there, but I'm not sure what I did with it. So we're going to use our snips. And I'm just going to push that down just to make sure it gets a nice good stick to it. Oh, you purchased 5 bottles of glue? Yeah. Man, I go through glue a lot. I probably need to stock up on some more. I love my green glue. But that's good. What else did you get for your big order there? I have semi-big order coming. It just shipped today. Just filling up on a couple random things I needed. All right, so we're just putting a little bit of that glue there, and we're going to do the same thing. I also got the, I think it's also called the Bloom Boutique bundle. I didn't get it originally, but the more that I looked at it, the more I really liked it. And I was like, I think I want to play with that. So I went ahead and got that too. All right, I'm just going to make sure nice and flat there. There we go. Isn't that cute? And it's got nice and crisp lines there. All right. Now we have our little pieces here. So you can stick those there. For this, I use the scalloped blooms dies to get these 2 here. Guys, I love the scalloped bloom dies. They are so pretty. But I did this one in Crisp Cantaloupe, and this one is in Barely Blush. And then I stamped this in our memento. I colored with the pine, peaceful pine, and then the crisp cantaloupe for the little flowers. And then I cut the bow out in our gold glimmer to kind of give it more of that shine that comes in with the paper here. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to take my, this is Barely Blush. I'll get the names at some point. So we're going to put our dimensionals on our Barely Blush scallop here. Because this is going on the outside, I want to make sure it's nice and... Okay, that'll work. I want to make sure it's not going to, when it's being handled, that it's not going to get torn. And then this one, right? Yep. All right, so we're going to stick this right in the center, like that. Some of the Last Chance products. Oh, the velvet paper, yep. And new pre-order stuff. The Scallop Blooms dies, yes. You're going to love these dies, Marrier. They are, oh, I've had so much fun with them. All right, so we're going to take our little pot here, and I am going to snip off the pot there. I just want the top here. And what I did was I kind of just set it down. Come here. Kind of set it down where I thought I was going to want it. And then I took my little bow to make sure that it would cover that edge that I just cut. And then once I knew that I had that covered, I went and put my dimensionals on. Whoops. Yeah, I got some of the Last Chance items too. I had a little bit too much fun probably, but it's Last Chance. That means you can't get them again. Here we go. I got some more of that Nests of Winter DSP. I love that paper. All right, so we're going to have that right about there. So we're going to stick our flower there. And then I'm going to cut a couple of these thin here. And I'm going to stick them on the underside of that bow. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Whoops. So I put them down here on this side down here, the underside, because that's going to hit our Barely Blush right here. And I'm just going to line that up. Oh, you know what? I didn't take the other side off. Wouldn't that be helpful? Do you guys ever do that? I do that a lot. All right, now we can stick it down. There we go. And then I have this one here. And I am going to just easily flip this up and then stick it right underneath, right where I see that it's going to hit on that Barely Blush right there. You can do it before you put it down. I just always don't know where it's going to land, so I like to kind of pull it back. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to take our Crisp Cantaloupe ribbon. This is our new ribbon. And I'm going to pull a bunch out here. And I'm just going to kind of guesstimate how much I think I'm going to need to make a bow. I always like to have more than not enough. All right. Which way is my... Okay, this is my back. So we are going to make sure my tails are the same. Yep. And then I'm just going to get this. Let me think about this. No, I need this on the front. Right? Yeah, that's the back. This is the front. So we're going to get this nice and centered. Probably right there. And I'm just going to take some tape. Make sure it's nice and straight. I'm just going to tape right across there. Our scallop is going to cover right there, so we don't have to worry about that. But I am going to just kind of look and see how far up and down here it goes. And I'm just going to stick another piece of tape right underneath here. And then, let's see, I had it right there, so it's going to go right about here. Just to make sure that that's going to stay. You don't have to tape it down if you don't want to. I just, for this one, when I created it, I wanted it to stay. I wanted to make sure that it did stay. All right, and before we put that down, we are going to flip this over. And I'm going to make sure these are, let's see, there we go, nice and together. And then I'm going to grab my little glue dots here. These are the ones that come from the kits or our paper pumpkins. And I'm going to hold that right there. I'm just going to take one of these, maybe. I'm not a lefty. There we go. And I'm just going to stick that right under the ribbon right here. And with these, because they're a lot thinner, you can't see that you even put it under there. Oh, the Misty Moonlight in white, yes. Oh, I got the espresso in old olive linen ribbon too. I loved that ribbon. I mean the twine. Oh yeah, the strawberry slush. Yes, you got some good stuff, Marrier. All right, so we're gonna put one of these in the center. I also stocked up on the baker's twine set because it's going up in price. So I got a couple of those too. All right, so I'm going to stick this one here, but I'm not going to stick it all the way at the very top, but just slightly down. So it kind of does around the same amount on each side right there. Here we go. And then we're going to put this back to our front, and we are going to put our dimensionals on here. And I'm going to put quite a few just to make sure it sticks and it's not going to get tugged. Might have to stick that down. Yeah, I love this new ribbon. I ordered some more of this ribbon too. I've been using, especially the Peaceful Pine ribbon. Oh, I love it. All right, so we're just going to center this. And what I did was I did the this scallop here, and then there's a scallop that kind of is with it. Maybe it's this one here, these two. And I just put those together on that line, on that ribbon, to center it there. So we have this scallop here and this scallop here on that ribbon. And then I need to do something with this piece here. So, will one of these fit? That'll fit. So we're going to take one of these, and then we're going to stick another one on. And then I'm going to take this, stick that underneath, and stick that down. So that way it's not flying around. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And then to embellish on this, I used our butterflies. And I have them. Here they are. And I used the Peaceful Pine on the actual envelope itself, and then on the scallop, I used the crisp cantaloupe. So I did 3 Peaceful Pine and 2 crisp cantaloupe. So we're going to do Peaceful Pine here. Come here. All right, don't come here. We'll go with this guy. And then we'll use this guy here. Let's put him, where'd this one go? So we'll go right here. And then those are too small. Oh, my last ones. Let's get another pack of these. I think I ordered another pack of these too. So that crisp cantaloupe is just going to go right here. Thank you, Sheila. It's so pretty, isn't it? And it's got that nice gold foil on it, so it kind of makes it look fancy. All right, so that is our envelope. And then you can tie this in a bow. You can tie it so that it is just like a little knot. And it kind of flips out like that. However it is that you like your envelopes to be. But that is our envelope, and then this is our matching card. So it kind of goes as a set there. And again, this one is the white, and this is the Barely Blush. You kind of can't quite tell on camera, but you can tell in person for sure. All right, so we've got those. All right, our next project here is a really cute one. And this is actually the card that I made for inside that envelope. It is, thank you, Marrier. This is the card that I made for them for the inside of that envelope. Is this not beautiful? On theirs, I put Welcome Home on here. And it's a WV card. It stands up, and then this is the back here. Isn't that so pretty? We've got our cute little, I don't know, it like square die that comes with the set. I used it right there. I thought it looked really cute. So for this is probably my favorite card for the night. I had so much fun creating this. I actually had to make myself a recreation of the one that I gave them, or that I'm giving them, because I loved it so much. I was like, I can't not have this. I can't give it away and not have one myself. All right, so for this, I do have all the measurements down in the description, but the base is 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and then 6 3/8. And we're going to go this way, so it's going to be folded like this. So it's going to be like a W this way. And I am going to burnish this. as well as I can without my bone folder. There we go. This gives it that nice crisp, when it sets up, gives it that nice crisp look there when you bone fold there. All right, so, and this is Hydrangea Hue. So we have our DSP, and this is cut to 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and I did 7 of these. So you have 4 at the front with the one pattern, and then on the back here I did 3 of a different pattern, and then that white to write on. So we are going to take our pieces here, and we are going to stick these on. I wonder if I need to get my glue out. I always like to see how much I can get out of it. All right, this is this way. I think this goes this way. So we are going to stick this right here in the center. And we are going to do that again. We're going to get all these on the front here. And goes, I don't know that this is really directional, but it kind of looks it. It's got parts that look like it's up. It's upside down here, but it's right side up here. So I'm trying to make it look like it's right side up at the top, because that's what you're going to see. Oops, scoot over. Here we go. All right, we'll get this one. I love this paper so much. I've had so much fun with it. Let's see. Yep, that's up. I actually used all the pieces that I put on their card that I made. I used them all up, so I couldn't use, I had to do it a little bit different for the one that I made for me to keep, so I could see what I did. This way. So I had to change up my pattern on this one too, the paper that I had. All right, there we go. It is fancy, Sheila, isn't it? All right, then on the back, you can put your basic white whichever side you want. I just preferred mine on this side, so I'm going to glue this down. And you can stamp, or you can put the little die cuts out, whichever one you like. And I personally like putting these on before I do the front, just because it's flat, and I feel like I have better control over where it's going to go. So we're going to go ahead and get these all down. And I liked using this Hydrangea Hue here on the back, because this DSP here, it gave it a little bit of a pattern, but it's not like the front where it's, you want a whole lot of pattern to be noticed. You want them to notice what you wrote, but I didn't want it to be plain either with nothing on it. And I thought about doing a dry emboss, but I didn't like any of the current folders we had for it. So I said, you know what, we'll just do DSP. That's easy. All right. And every single piece of DSP in this pack is gorgeous. So pretty. All right, there we go. Okay. So back to our front. So this piece here is going to be our centerpiece, the V of our WV. And this one here is 6 by 4, and then it is scored at 3. And then this, I gotta look at this other page. So the DSP for this is, where did I do that? Scored at 2 7/8. And it's 6, no, it's 5 what did I say? This is 6, so it's 5 3/4 long, and it is scored at 2 7/8 in the middle. And that's going to give you a nice line around it. Because you have kind of that crease there, I added a little bit because it kind of pulls it off on one side. So I'm going to put my glue. And because this has the gold foil, I'm just putting a little bit extra just to make sure it gets on that paper and sticks. And I'm going to just line up that center. Just like that. And I like to kind of close it a little bit to smooth it out, just to make sure that it's going to be nice and flat and nice and have a nice crisp line right there. All right. Then, let's see. Yeah, when I open it this way, it's going to be this side. Okay, so how I did this, I did not measure because I made my envelope a little bit taller. But if you are using like a regular envelope, you're going to want to make sure that this is from this side of the card to this side of the card is no more than 4 1/4. I am not to buy as much DSP. Yep, missed the beginning. Oh, this is the Bloom Boutique DSP. It's so pretty. All of it is just like the little flowers, and it's got that gold on it. I almost didn't get it, but then the more I looked at it and I saw the gold on it, I was like, that is really pretty. And I actually thought with it, I said, you know what, I could make some really pretty envelopes with that to make it the background of the envelope really, really pretty. Okay, so we are, again, from here to here, you would want to make sure that it is 4 1/4 or less. I am going to guesstimate on this one. So I'm going to kind of try to, I put it kind of where I think I want it, and what I do is I stick my finger right along where this edge is so I know where I need my glue. Here we go. And then we're going to close this back up. I got to make sure, yep, it's going to open this way. Yes. All right, so we're going to stick our piece right on here. And I'm just trying to get it so that it looks kind of even between the two. Then we're just going to flip this over. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to stick my finger here, and then I can just put my glue. And then I'm just going to fold that nice and flat. Yeah, I like the, what is it, the Waterside Retreat DSP as well. I have quite, I think I got 3 packs of that, but I'm doing a class with it. I'm going to do another live with it. So I'm going to use a lot of it. Here we go. Isn't that cute? All right, so to decorate this, I use this die right here from the Life in Blooms die set here. It's this one right here. I challenged myself to figure out how to use it because I thought it was interesting and very different than anything that I would ever use. So I said, how can I use that? So what we're going to do is it fits pretty much perfectly from the top here to the bottom, and from this side to this side over here. So I am just going to take this, flip it upside down, and then I'm just going to stick a couple little dots of glue on the corners. And I do recommend getting all the corners. If you get the corners, it will lay flat. If you miss a corner, it's going to pop up. Did I get one on this one? Nope. All right, so we are going to stick this right down on the edge of the DSP here and this side over here. Just like that. Gives it a nice little different kind of look to it in the back. So we've got this one next. And I just put just a tiny, tiny little droplet on my little edge of my bottle, and I just tap it really lightly on each corner. You can also, I saw this, I don't know, it was either Laura Vanverlo or Autumn Blake used a toothpick. They dipped it in and they used a toothpick. We're going to just go right here. So we're going to go right to that side again. Here we go. Oh man, stuck to my finger. I'm going to have to get my embossing buddy out here. Get the sticky off of that. Okay. And then this one here is going to go right there in the middle. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was one of the two used a toothpick. Put it in, I think they just stuck it inside the tube and worked really good. So the toothpick is nice and thin. There, there, there. All right. See if I can do this. We're just going to center this. Just like that. I got glue on my hands. All right. I'm going to grab my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to dab it on the sticky parts to make it not sticky. I have one of those eraser thingies, but I'm afraid to use it because of the cardstock. So I'm just going to use my embossing buddy to make it not sticky. Okay. There we go. That is our little background right there. Isn't that pretty? Kind of different. Okay, so we have our little pot right here. This is Barely Blush, and this is from the Life in Bloom die set. And then we have our plant top here. And this is in Peaceful Pine. I always want to call it Perfect Pine, but it's Peaceful Pine. So we are going to put glue on that. And then we're going to glue this down. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on. And then we are just going to center that right on here. Let's see. I need a couple. Where are they? Right here. I'm just going to use some of these minis since they fit perfectly on the back of these little flowers. One right here. I think that's good. And then I'm just going to pull these off. And then this is just going to go right there in the center. It's going to have kind of like a nice little backdrop there. It's almost like lattice in a way, kind of what it looks like. There we go. Like that. And then, let's see, let's do our sentiment. So we have this is the scallops again. So this is crisp cantaloupe and then barely blush. And I used thank you on this one. And I think I do know where that stamp is. It's right here. And I used Peaceful Pine to stamp it. And a cute way, also, if you don't have the scallops, if you have the smaller alphabet die set, that's how I did Welcome Home on it. I did it with that that die set. All right. Stamp that right there. Close this up here. Then we're going to put these together. Oh, look, there's a pearl. I don't know where that came from. All right, so we're going to put this one here on top of our cantaloupe. And then we're going to put our cantaloupe on the card front. And again, I'm putting more than I probably need, but I just want to make sure that it's going to stay. It's not going to get, whoops. It's not going to get ripped. Okay. And then we're just going to center this right there. Then we can go through and we're going to do our little flowers here. And I kind of just did them, not really in a pattern, but I didn't do the same color next to each other. So let's see, we'll do these. And I like doing it this way, whoops, because I think it gives it a nice pop. Putting them right on top with a dimensional. They look good if they're glued as well, but I like them popped up. So we're going to put, this one's cantaloupe, so this one is Golden Glow. And we've got crisp cantaloupe. Oh wait, this one's white. Got a basic white. I kind of tried to pull whatever colors were in the DSP. let's see, the long piece goes here. We've got another golden glow. I just like these colors together. They're so pretty. I wouldn't have chose to put them together had they not been in the paper. But they complement each other so well. So we've got this one here. And then that one. Let's see what color's next. Basic white. And then we've got one more. That's the golden glow. That's where my pearl came from. Came off that flower. All right, and then our golden glow. I'm just going to push those down, make sure they're nice and stuck. And then these extra ones I can just put here on the back, like I did over here, to kind of decorate that. Then I have the cute little bow here in that crisp cantaloupe. So we'll do another little cute bow. Pulls that color in real nice. It kind of finishes off that pot. And I like my bows real small. I'll just snip that, and then I can wiggle it around. There we go. Okay. Those look about even. And then we're going to grab our glue dots. And I'm going to put, I like to put one in the center and one on each side of the bow, the loop. The ribbon from last year, the in color ribbon from last year, kind of scarred me because it came off all the time. I still find them. I'm like, I don't know how you came off. I glued you good. All right, so we're just going to snip this off. Whoops, come back here. Hi, Deborah, how are you? Hope you're doing well. We're working with the Life in Bloom bundle. Super, super cute. All right, and then we are going to embellish with our pearls again. And I'm just going to use the small ones. And I'm just going to stick those right there in the center. And I'm surprised that one came off because it's got the glue dot there in the center. And when I push it down, I would think that it is extra adhesive, but that one popped off. But they look so pretty. And this is good if you have retired, little small retired pieces, like embellishments, to use for this. Kind of gives it a little bit of, come here, a little bit of a pop there on each one. Ah, thank you. Yes, this is that WV fold. The measurements are in the description if you are interested in recreating it. Here we go. Since I got them out, we're going to put one on our one that we lost. Where'd it go? Well, here we go. Stick this one on here. Push that. And then I'm just going to push these down really well. just to make sure. There we go. And then on this side, I used the butterflies, and I did the, let's see, I did one in the Golden Glow, and then two in, I'm pretty sure that's the blush. Yeah, that's the blush, which is this one here. So we'll put this one, let's put this one up here. And then, let's see, this is the, is this the, yeah, this is the blush. With my lights, I can't quite tell which is the blush and which is the white. And then I did gold. So we got this guy here, which is going to go right here. All right, and that is our third project. Super pretty, right? I love this card. It's going to be displayed in my craft room. And then we've got our little back here. So cute. All right. Let's see. So I have a cute little tag. Isn't this cute right here? I use two different of the ribbons here. This is so pretty. And we've got the back here. And for this one, the measurements are in the description. So we have Peaceful Pine, and then we have a basic white for the front and the back. And then we have our DSP, another piece of basic white, and DSP. And this is the DSP for that back piece. And here I'm going to show you how to color this one. So I used my light Peaceful Pine, and I colored in just the leaves, and I just went over them once with the light. And I am using that bullet end. I thought it was easier than that brush tip for this one. So I just did one over. I did it over the bigger leaves. These little smaller leaves over here, I did in dark. I'm going to color these in. I know some of you guys like to see the coloring part of it too. And I think this is the only, yeah, this is the only thing in this set that you color. Whoops. I got some on that little flower. Alright, so then we're going to go on this one. And those flowers I did in Crisp Cantaloupe to match that DSP. Let's see, this is part of it. When I was coloring in the beginning, I kept coloring outside the line thinking that it was the leaf that I was coloring in, but I wasn't, because it faked me out. Hey Jen, how are you? Hope you're doing good. We are working with the Life in Bloom bundle. This is the one that you like. This one here. I just did that WV card that I sent you last night. Nice and pretty. All right. Color that in. And I love the way that this Peaceful Green colors in. It doesn't streak like some of the colors do. Okay, so I'm going to take the dark Peaceful Pine, and I'm going to color in the little smaller leaves. Hope Andrew's doing good. Tell him I said hello. Oh, thank you. I know this set is super pretty, and the paper, icing on the cake for it. Okay, and then for the dark, I went back over those just so that it could have a little bit of a pop there, kind of like a difference in color. And then I just went down a couple of these lines here just to do a little bit of shading. And then I have the, I think this one is the dark cantaloupe. So I just went through. I think that's the light. But we're going to do dark because I already did it. I'm just coloring in these little. This kind of reminds me of the set you like, Jen, the Lily of the Valley, I think, is what these flowers are. Ah. Hey, Andrew. Hope to see you soon. Hope you had a good day at school. All right, so there is the flower part of it. And then I did this one in this pot in, let's see, hydrangea. So this is the light. Thank you, Marrier. Thank you. I love to create. It's one of my passions, and I love to be able to get to share it with you guys. Have you guys get inspired and create projects that you like too. But the design aspect of it for me is what's the most fun. I love it. So I'm so glad that you guys enjoy seeing it and get inspired by it. All right, see, this one does the little color that I was saying where you kind of see where you colored. So I'm going to just go, hoping I'm not going to get out of the lines there, just to kind of smooth it out there. Here we go. Just to get it that nice smooth look. I have trouble with some of the colors. They do that. Isn't that pretty? Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Marrier. All right, so we are going to start assembling here. So we have our Peaceful Pine. We are going to put, let's see, yep, I glued this down. So we're going to do our basic white. And again, the measurements for this are in the description if you're interested. And I do have the list of all the products, current products that I used in there. I think I've missed a couple, but I will go back and update it after the video. Yes, that's hydrangea. It's so pretty. It's funny when you put it on, it looks so different than once it dries. I was when I was first using it, I actually was like, wait a minute, I didn't use the right color. And I looked at it and I said, but it says it's hydrangea. All right. Let's see. I don't think it's directional. It'll be okay. They mess me up when they have them upside down and right side up. And all right, so we have that. Then we have this little cute piece right here. I like the little scallop detail on there. Thank you, Deborah. So we are going to take our DSP and put it on our basic white. And then we are going to pop up that basic white. Almost out of my glue. And then I just want to make sure that my scallops are going the right way. Let's see. So we're going to pop this up. Where did my big ones go? Whoops. And then pop this up, and then who's surprised that I used the Trio Punch, one of my favorites. So I'm going to make sure that my scallops are going the right way. And then I'm going to take the little line trio punch here, this one, and I'm going to guesstimate. You can measure if you want to. Pop that through. And then we're going to flip this over and put the white on. And I recommend doing it this way because otherwise it's very difficult to punch through a whole nother piece of cardstock. Pretty much 3 pieces, the 2 cardstocks and a DSP is pretty much the max that I do before I go back and repunch after I add another piece, because it gets hard. Alright, and then we're going to take, we have our little line here, so I'm just going to take this here and line it up back with that, so I went down too far, back with that part that I already snapped through there. Pop that through so we still have a nice and crisp little punch there. Alright, and then we're going to pop up our little centerpiece here, our flower. Let's see, I want a small one. There we go. And then I went outside the line. Just want to get this centered here. There we go. And then on the back I have a little piece of DSP to put down here at the bottom. You can also stamp on it or put a die cut if you want. I just thought I would do something different because I don't normally do little strips. I normally do like a die cut or a stamp or something like that. So I was like, let's do something different. Isn't that cute? And then I took a piece of Peaceful Pine ribbon. And then I also took a piece of Crisp Cantaloupe ribbon. And we'll do this one with our pine on the outside so we can see which one we like. So I'm just going to line these up, and then I just put them together in half like that. And I'm going to put the tails are going to be towards me, so I'm going to put the loop through the front into the back. Maybe. There we go. So we've got our loop in the back. And then I'm just going to take those tails and pull them through that loop. And then I just kind of wiggle back and forth gently. Just like that. And then, surprisingly, my angles on my... We're not going to snip them because they actually look really good. Isn't that cute? And then we have our cute little bow here in Crisp Cantaloupe. One of these days I will remember. Oops. So we're going to put dimensional on each side there, and then I'm going to take and snip 2 of these to put on our tails. Put that one there. This one's already coming off there. And then we're just going to put this right there in the center, just to kind of add a little something extra. And then for this one, I used the what are these? The pearlized faceted circles. I love these for the sparkle. There wasn't much sparkle on this one because I used the non-gold side, so I had to add some sparkle. And this one has white, pretty and not pretty and pink, petal pink, and then I think that's Calypso Coral. So I'm actually going to use the petal pink because it goes really well with the crisp cantaloupe here. Looks really pretty off of it. So we're going to do one large and then two small here. Here we go. Cute. There we go. Isn't that cute? Such a fun little tag. I love it. So cute. I hope you guys like that one. I think I like it with the green on the outside. This one instead of the crisp cantaloupe. I kind of like the green on it. Cute. They look so different. Funny how that happens, right? All right, this is a quick and simple one. So this is a cute little bookmark or tag here. How cute is this? So I, in the Life in Bloom die set, there is a large one of these and then a little bit smaller. So I cut out a piece of DSP in the large. Yeah, Deborah likes the green too, yep. So I cut a piece of DSP out in this large one and a piece of basic white. On this one I did hydrangea hue, but I didn't have any more of this DSP, so we're gonna use this one. So, and then the same size I did basic white, and then this smaller one I cut out with hydrangea hue, and I cut out whatever color was gonna pop off of that center there. So this one I did with that white, and that's this die right here. And for this is a super easy, quick, simple. You could also do this as like a little card. Like if you're going to do like prayer requests or like a baby shower, you want people to write their wishes for the baby or do something with a wedding. This is perfect for that. All right, so we have that there. And then I'm going to grab my little punch here. So this is part of my trio punch as well. This is the 1/8 circle. And let's see, I don't think it matters which way. So I'm just going to guesstimate and punch. I always do that with this one, the way I punch it. And then before we put this down, we are going to stamp our sentiment. And for this one, I used Enjoy the Simple Things in Life, which is from the Life in Bloom stamp set. And it's right here. It's a huge stamp. This is one of the reasons I think that this stamp set, they designed it with the, let's see, this is white, so we'll do hydrangea on this one. If I can remember what I did with it. Here it is. The scrapbooking on this one, because it has a bit more large items in it, stamps and stuff in it. And for larger ones like this, I like to ink them up upside down. And for some reason, my hydrangea hue is kind of spotty. I don't know if it's my stamp or... See, that one didn't get very... It's these little bottom ones here. That's better. All right, so we are going to Accept a Bloom Boutique Blossom stamp set. Oh, I know. It's hard. They put out so many cute things. it's hard not to get it all. And you get some things and then you like watch videos like mine and it's like, well, maybe I did need that, but I really don't need it, but I like it. All right, so we are going to glue this down. Yeah, the Bloom Boutique is really pretty. I think I only got the scallops and then the DSP here. I don't think I got the other stamp set. There we go. And then we're going to take this cute little center here. Let's see. I'm going to pull off that piece of gunk on there. All right, which way? This way. So we're just going to hit those corners. Because pretty much if you get the corners, it's going to sit flat and stay. And then we're just going to set this right here in the center, as gently as we can. I caused you to spend more money. I'm sorry. I know. It's hard when you watch videos like this because it's like, oh, but I really like that. I could make such cute things with it. Isn't that cute? All right, then we are going to take our little flowers, and for this one, we're going to do the white flowers, and we're going to pop these up. I know sometimes I cause myself to spend more money because I go back and look, and I'm like, I can make something look really good with that, like the gliding garden swing. Man, I love that bundle. But I got it late, after a little while after it had come out. But man, I love it. Got to try to get out of my comfort zone of mostly florals. I do a lot of florals, but I'm trying to get better. I do like to do like outdoor type scenes. Let's see, 1, 2, get off my fingers. 1, 2, 3, I need 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just cut a bunch of colors out to play around with. All right, so we're going to put these down. And I pretty much just put these down to cover that little square in the middle there, to kind of give it a little, oh, that doesn't go in there. What was I doing? It goes in there. Let's see, get this off here. Cute. Oh, I love it. And then this one. And then we're going to take our hydrangea hue ribbon and snip that off. And then we're going to do our loop end from the front to the back. Since it's this little 1/8 inch punch, it's a little harder to get it through. All right, and then we're just going to pull those tails, make our little pretty knot there in the front. And then for the centers, we've got our little pearls. Oh, they're going to be so pretty on this one with that white, a little bit of shimmer there in the middle. Whoops. I need you to go on here so I can pick these up. There we go. These are so cute. And then we've got this one here. There we go. Nice quick little tag, or you could also use it as like a bookmark. Super cute, right? I've got one that's a little bit kind of like opposite colors, kind of. So cute. All right, I have one more. And I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do all the flowers, but I thought this was such a gorgeous card. I couldn't not share it. So I'm going to show you the way to put it together, but I won't make you watch me do all the flowers. So for this one, it's a, this is not pretty in pink. This is Barely Blush card base. And then we've got our matte here, which is going to be our hydrangea hue. And then we've got that blush piece of that DSP that's going to go here in the center. So it's going to, this one is a little bit more of a busy pattern. I wanted to see what it looked like with less busy on the background. This one kind of made it look like it was a field of flowers, I thought. So I kind of wanted to see if it was going to look the same in a little bit less busy. So we're just going to glue this down. You like this one, Marier? It's so pretty, right? I know. I was like, I got to do something to make it look like a field of flowers, because that's just what that piece looked like to me. And I worked long and hard on that. I was like, I can figure this out. I think I did pretty good. Okay. So we're going to put our dimensionals here and pop this up. Grab another thing of dimensionals. And these in the center, those are the gold little balls. Those are a retired embellishment, because I was going to use a whole lot of them. So I was like, we're going retired on this one. You love this card? Good. Oh, I'm so glad. I contemplated not sharing it just because it's so kind of over the top with so many flowers, but I was like, but that's kind of part of it, because it is so pretty and it is so much. You know, you guys can do it on a smaller scale if you want to, but it's nice to have that visual of it. Not pretty. All right, then we have our hydrangea hue piece that's going to go down here at the bottom. And then this piece here is actually the Barely Blush. So I got to pop these. I forgot to pop these guys out. Comes with these little things in the center. I have all kinds of little dots all over the place. So this is just going to go here in the center, kind of just to give it a little bit of something so it's not plain. And I thought about putting a sentiment there, but I kind of wanted the flowers to be more of the centerpiece instead of a sentiment, which is why I did the little tiny hello there, because this is just one of those kind of cards that's just like really pretty. Really pretty, really fancy, feminine. Yes, Deborah. Yes, the details. So pretty, right? I love it. And I used a different technique with the leaves on that one too. All right, so we are going to pop this guy up, and then I'm going to show you how to do these leaves. Whoops. Well, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Got that one, this one, and this one here. Pop this up here. All right, so we're just gonna, does this open this way? Yep. Okay. All I need to do is do it upside down, right? All right, so we're just gonna stick this here. And then to start out with doing our flowers, what I did on basic white, I took a piece of basic white before I cut it out, and I could have sworn I had a piece out, but I don't think I did. So what I did was I took that, put it on my paper, my stamp off paper, and I took a blending brush with Peaceful Pine on it, and I just blended across, and I got like a really light coating on it. I didn't go very dark. I just did it enough so that you could kind of see that color. Kind of like that, just a little bit like this color here, just to get that nice little background green kind of color going. And then I die cut them out with the this die right here, and I got I did it 3 times, so I got 3 of these. Where'd the other 2 go? Here they are. So I got 3 of those, and you can see they're just kind of light. And what I did from there, get these little pieces out of here, is I took these and I took my brush. And the way that I found to get more on your brush, at least with this ink pad, you stick your brush down, push a little bit, and scooch it up, and that's going to give you a nice color right there. If you just kind of go in a circle, it doesn't really give you too much color. So I did it that way, and then I'm just going to take this, stick it down, and then I'm just going to run down from top to bottom on the leaves. It'll get on the flowers as well, but that's okay because we're covering those with the flowers. But this just gives it that extra, see how it's a little bit darker here and like lighter in other places? That's how I got that coloring on there. And it was, I liked it better going from the top to the bottom. I thought that it gave a little bit better of a blend. Isn't that beautiful? I loved it that way. I tried it the other way and I didn't care for it as much. It was still pretty, but this way it's just gorgeous. All right, get those little guys out of there. So again, you just push and push down and scooch it forward, and then you're just going to go straight down. And it doesn't take too much with this. The base that you do with your blending on your main piece before you die cut is probably, I would think, the most important part, because that's the part that's going to help it to blend a little bit, not be as white there in the back. And then this adding is just going to add that little bit of extra green. Let's do a little bit more right here. And then this one here. So pretty. I've never done, got a little heavy there. I've never, I don't think, done my blending this way. But I was trying to figure out how to get it to look this way, because this was what I was going for. All right. Let's just get a little bit more at the top there. All right. Let's see. All right, so those are our main pieces there. Aren't they so pretty? And what we're going to do, we're going to take our card here, and I started on the ends, so I'm just going to kind of put these down to kind of see how I want them to. I think I want this one in the middle. Maybe I want this one over here because it's kind of dark. I'm going to go in the middle. All right, so we're going to do that. Then I'm just going to flip these over, and we're just going to put our mini dimensionals on the back here to pop them up on the back there in that background. And again, I'm just putting it on a couple. I ran out of those. Okay. Let's see. Where's my minis? Nope, that's not a mini. This is not a mini. Is this one? I gotta have minis. How do I not have minis? Here we go. There's some. I have to get another pack out. These are from a kit. All right, so we're going to put one here, and then we'll put one there. And you can always go back after. I think I did that on this one. I went back after and I put a dimensional on the back of this one because it kept flipping up. So I would go ahead and put the dimensionals on the flowers first, do the whole card, and then go back at the end. And if you have a piece like that, then you can go put a dimensional behind it. All right, so we are going to stick this down here. We basically just want to cover this point underneath our piece down here. That's like our objective there, so you don't see it coming out the side. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. So we're just going to put a couple dimensionals here. That one. Got that stuck on me. All right, and then this one's going to go on the side, the other side. Did I get that one off? I did. And again, this side is the side we want to cover under our little piece here. So just like that. And then our middle, I got a couple pieces on this one, pop out. That one and this one. We are going to do the same thing. I am going to start with a couple and then kind of look and see where I can add them so I'm not overlapping anything. All right, and then take these guys off. And then we're just going to nestle this guy down in here. Pop that down just like that. So pretty. See these, I didn't put any of these down with those dimensionals, so they pop up. If it bothers you, definitely put a little tiny dimensional behind them. Okay, so then for, I don't know if you can tell, so some of these I glued and some of them I popped up. So I'll show you one little section here, how I kind of did that. So, and I didn't have any rhyme or reason how I did it. I just kind of, I decided, okay, well this one looks good, popped up, so let's pop this one up. And then, oh, I think this one would look better not popped up. So I'm going to take this basic white here, and I always just line that big edge up. And then let's see, this one I did in cantaloupe. So I'm just going to put a couple little tiny dabs of glue on the back of that. And then we're just going to glue it down on, whoops, on that one. So we have one that's popped up and one that's glued. And I did that across the whole thing. I just kind of popped some and glued some. And then for the little, you can see these little pieces right here. The extra pieces I had on the basic white that I blended, I cut out with the dies, these little leaves here. There's two different, there's like a thicker one and then a thinner one. And with those, I just took those and I pretty much did a thin one and a thicker one together. And I just took I did these with the little skinny pieces because these are pretty skinny little dudes. So I just stuck a little dimensional on each one of these. Whoops, come back here. And then I just kind of stuck them around. So I think I put one like this. And then I did this other one kind of popping out like that. And I just added them across the whole way here. And then for the little sign here, I had to search for a sentiment that fit this little tiny thing. And I found one, which is this little hello. And I got that from, what did I do with that little stamp set? It was, which one was it? It was this one here, which is Painted Petals. It was a paper pumpkin. July 2024 paper pumpkin. It was this little tiny hello right here. Because it's a little tiny thing. So, what did I do with the stamp? Here it is. See how little it is? It's itty bitty. And then I used hydrangea hue on this. So, pop this open. I just inked this up. Stamps that down. Isn't that tiny? And then I actually just stuck it down in there, and I popped a glue dot behind it to just glue it down in place, right where I wanted it. And if it pops out the bottom here, you just go in and trim it. And then for the centers here, what I used was the, where did they go? Here they are. These are retired from a long time ago. Festive Pearls, and I used the gold ones. It came with red, I think, red, blue, and gold. These are extra from something that I stuck in here. I don't know what these are from. But they came, oh, and silver. Red, blue, silver, and gold is what these came in. And I purposely used something that was retired so I could use something up, and because I was going to use a lot of them, because I did every single flower with one of those on it. And that's the final card for tonight. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this bundle. I had so much fun with it. I was actually surprised by how much fun I had with it. I was a little worried because I was like, it doesn't have a whole lot with it because it's a lot of larger, has a lot of larger pieces, you know, larger sentiments, and there was only kind of like a couple things to work with stamp-wise. Even die-wise, there wasn't a whole lot, but I think I did pretty good. So let's take a look at everything that we made tonight. Let's see. So we started with this one here. Super simple, super pretty. Then we did our coordinating card and our envelope. And again, this envelope has 1/4 of an inch on it. Aren't they so pretty? I love these together. They're so pretty. Then, let's see. I think we did this one next, our WV card. I think this one's, I don't know, this one's one of my favorites. I love it so much. So we have that one. Then we have our cute little, oh, I'm missing one. This guy. We have our cute little tag here. Their little back. The last one, yes, it is spectacular, isn't it? Then we have our little, our other little tag here, or it could be a bookmark. And then, of course, our final card, which is so pretty, so pretty. And I do think I prefer this background to this one here. I think I like it. I don't know. I kind of like it because it looks like it's a big field of like wildflowers, kind of. Super, super pretty. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You'll have to let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Maria's favorite is 6. You love the double V card, yes. And the last one, yes. These probably would be my favorites too. I love them, but I love this envelope too. But lots of different options for inspiration for you guys. And thank you guys so much. Thank you, Marier and Deborah and Sheila. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. My next live will be next Monday, May 4th, 6:30 p.m. And I'm going to be doing the Garden Gathering Bundle. It's kind of like another one similar to this. It's got like vases with it. I thought it'd be a little bit of a challenge for me, so kind of looking forward to that. And then if you haven't already, make sure you're following me on all my socials. I have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure with YouTube that you like and you're subscribed and you hit that bell so you're notified whenever I go live. You can also join my card mailing list. Look for that little rainbow emoji in the description. And again, the pencil emoji will give you the list of the items that I used tonight that are current and the measurements for any of the projects that are not like a standard card. All right, so if you enjoyed tonight's video, go ahead and put this emoji or the word bloom down in the comments so that I can say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It really helps my channel. And thank you again so much for choosing to spend your time with me tonight. And I will see you right back here next Monday for a brand new video. Bye.